I hope my shit turns into black tar by drinking Pepsi. Hey, what's up? So, I told myself a couple weeks earlier that I wouldn't do a video on E3 since I wanted to do commentary shit. And, here I am. Now I'm just going to be pointing out some really, really good things that interested me. There are very few things, because E3 2019 was kind of boring, besides two presentations, 2 press conferences. But yeah, this year's E3 was boring as all hell. Not a lot of gameplay to a lot of things. It was just another hype train, I guess. E3 last year had more interest than this year, I guess. So let's look at some of the things that really interested me as I take another sip of my Pepsi. So first off, we're going to talk about Xbox. They were kind of just boring. I mean, like, they unveiled their next project, Project Scarlet Johansson. Yeah, it's looking a lot similar, like, it's looking very similar in terms of specs to the PlayStation 5, which is interesting, and they're both using AMD processors again, but they're vastly improved AMD processors, so yeah, that's cool. And they demoed the Scarlet's power with the unveiling of Halo Infinite. Cool cinematic, no gameplay. Although the colors do pop very much. Like, I think that Master Chief is a little too, like, bright green, but I really love the saturation of colors and the contrasting between them throughout the trailer. That really did stand out to me, and Scarlet seems to be very capable of producing that color. The rest are just like a bunch of like the other games that they unveiled at Xbox's press conference. They were just a bunch of like really lame third-party games and like really lame first-party games. I mean, there was Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to Xbox One. It's probably going to be on PlayStation 4 and Switch, maybe as well. So I guess that's exciting. The last thing that I wanted to touch on for Xbox is Cyberpunk 2077. It looks sweet. No gameplay again. But the one thing that overshadowed that was Keanu Reeves. I love that. I really love that. Keanu Reeves just comes on stage, you know, every time he said Cyberpunk, people just wet themselves and screamed. During the whole spiel with Keanu Reeves explaining his role in the game and how Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be so great, there's this one guy that screams, "You're breathtaking," as Keanu Reeves says, "Oh, this game's going to be really breathtaking in the way it has its open world." So that was really neat. Next up on our way to E3 glory, EA, who came before Xbox, but whatever. EA, the only thing that I could really point out was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It was cool. It had gameplay. I don't know if it's real gameplay. You know, it could be. I mean, it's from Respawn, so it's probably it's actually real, because I trust Respawn more than I do BioWare. Yeah. EA's was pretty boring besides the Jedi Fallen Order thing. I mean, all EA had was like, oh, we're fixing a bunch of games that had loot boxes in them, like FIFA and Battlefield. Although they're probably not going to, since all the money that they make off of their games is microtransactions. Yeah, I'm have a video on that soon, but you never know, because I don't upload much. I'm gonna run out of Pepsi before this is over. Next up is Bethesda. God, why did they have to start out with Fallout 76? The people there were just cheering for them, even though Fallout 76 is garbage. I never played Fallout 76, but I know it is garbage. Also, I'm not a big Fallout fan, so I've only played like 2 Fallout games in my life, being the original Fallout and Fallout 3, so that's beyond me. But Fallout 76 was bad, and they were like, oh, we're adding a Battle Royale thing to it. Nice. Okay, now to the standouty part of this, being Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal looks sweet as hell. Yes, it does, and I made that intentional. The sweet as hell part. The gameplay was extensive, and it looked really sweet. A lot of the guns in there look, a lot of the guns in Doom Eternal look nut-busting, and I fucking love that. There are so many ways to bend a demon over and let them take it now. It's... Whoa. That grappling hook, though. That grappling hook on the super shotgun. Oh my god. Oh my god. Now, Doom Guy can do fucking parkour tricks, like fucking Mirror's Edge or some shit. He has like a dick on his arm. I mean, he has a sword on his arm, as big as his dick. He's got a flamethrower on his shoulder. It looks really sweet, and hopefully I'll get to get the demo of it soon. Maybe when Google Stadia works, I might actually play it. That was Bethesda's conference. A large part of it was Doom Eternal, so I'm excited for Doom Eternal. Not for anything else that Bethesda has. Now on to Ubisoft, a company I don't care about. The one thing that stood out to me was Just Dance 2020. It's coming out on the Wii. On the Wii. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Moving on from boring old Ubisoft is Square Enix. I was about to say Squaresoft. They are not Squaresoft anymore. Don't think of that. Square Enix almost blew it out of the water. The biggest things that they had, to me, was Final Fantasy VII and the Avengers thing. Final Fantasy VII, the remake, I'm really excited about. Some people had concerns over it, or that I've read and watched and heard, like microtransactions and all that shit, and I'm like, single player game, don't think it'll have microtransactions, but Square did say that it's gonna be episodic, maybe? Maybe? I heard that the Final Fantasy VII Remake is gonna be on multiple Blu-ray discs, which is, first of all, insane. Secondly, insane. Lastly, how? It's going to be a huge game. The gameplay looks awesome. They've created this way to play Final Fantasy VII that is comfortable enough for new players to get into, but very, I guess I would say, trustworthy to people who played the original Final Fantasy VII. So they're really playing this close to home. Crystal Chronicles, they're remaking that. Well, they're remastering it, should I say. They're gonna port it on PS4, Switch, PC, and phones. Why phones? Okay, listen. Square, every time you port one of your major Final Fantasy games onto mobile, it usually doesn't work on mobile. I remember buying Final Fantasy 9 for phone. I think it was like $10 when I got it. It kept crashing. I was playing through the first 10 minutes of it, and it just crashed. It deleted my save data. It did everything possible for me not to play it, so I just didn't like it. I'm not saying I don't like 9, I just don't like it when Square wants to port their major Final Fantasy games to phones. Maybe Crystal Chronicles would work on phones, considering now that Square has a little more experience on the mobile market, but whatever, I can just get it on PC or Switch or PS4 if I get a Switch or a PS4 and play it that way. So, yay. The Avengers thing, another game cinematic trailer that showed no gameplay in the slightest. I mean, it looks sweet, don't get me wrong, but it just looks sweet. I'm gonna reserve most of my opinions for now, or concerns over the game. I'm just gonna wait till they I don't know, bring out some more shit. Then I can do something about it. I mean, I love superhero type games, but there was nothing to this besides some in-engine cinematic cutscenes and all of that. So, yay. Now, moving on from Square, let's talk about Nintendo. Because, oh boy, Nintendo gave me the hand job of my life. There were a lot of, third-party games that were announced, some indie titles. Cadence of Hyrule was getting something. Some love, getting some love. Cadence of Hyrule looks interesting. Smash Brothers, though, not only did we get all the Dragon Quest not all the Dragon Quest characters, but Dragon Quest heroes as playable characters in Smash. We got Banjo-Kazooie in this bitch. God, I loved how the trailer, the reveal trailer for Banjo-Kazooie was just so memey. Donkey Kong, King K. Rool, and Diddy Kong are just sleeping in some golden rectangle thing that I couldn't really make out of. Drops on the floor, and Donkey Kong wakes up, he looks outside, King K. Rool and Diddy Kong join him, and there's a silhouette of what looks like Banjo-Kazooie, like, holy shit! But no, it's just Duck Hunt being a fucking dick. Duck Hunt more like Dick Hunt. But then another shadowy figure falls from the sky and crushes that dick to the ground, and there he is, our heroes, Banjo-Kazooie. Oh god, it looks so sweet. But back on the Dragon Quest heroes, it seems like they're like a mix between a Smash Bros. Melee Brawl Zelda, where it's one of Zelda's moves would be turning into Sheik, and both of them would have their own movesets. This is what the Dragon Quest hero is like, because I saw 4 in the trailer. The Dragon Quest hero from the most recent Dragon Quest on Switch, one of them from Dragon Quest Journey of the Cursed King, another one from, I believe, would be 7. And then you have Erdrick in the background. And it's so sweet that they added Erdrick in there. I don't think a lot of Americans would know what Erdrick is, but Japan would be going nuts over that. Anyways, their final Smash is sort of, it looked like a very Mega Man-esque thing, like the generations of Dragon Quest heroes would come together and do a final slash, just like how Mega Man's final smash is all the Mega Men from those different generations would come together and do a final Mega Buster Blast or whatever. It looks really cool. Banjo and Smash, though. Banjo and Smash. I cannot get over that. Okay, enough about Smash. On to Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening looks sweet. It showed not a lot of gameplay, but it showed more gameplay than what the original reveal trailer had done. I think Nintendo intended for people who had attended E3 to try it out at their treehouse, whatever, at their little convention or whatnot. So whoever played that for maybe 15-20 minutes may have something positive about it and say it's just like the original, which I love the original Link's Awakening. So the art style is something I wanted to talk about, because some people don't like the tilt shift art style, and I'm like, you're wrong. It's not bad. It's really good, and it adds to the handheld nature of Link's Awakening, because because of the limitations of the Game Boy, the Link's Awakening had to look very childlike in aspect. And the way that they made this game is simply beautiful. It's simply beautiful how they made it cutesier. And I think it's cool that the art style is like that. It really shows that that Eiji Aonuma knew what he was doing, even though he wasn't, in the original team that made Link's Awakening. It goes to show how much he cares to remake what would be one of the weirdest Zeldas, one of the best, in my opinion. That looks really sweet. Moving on from that, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It was a trailer, but we've already seen enough gameplay and character reveals from the Ultimate Alliance team, so that's whatever. I can't wait to play Miles Morales. I've been excited for. Again, it looks really sweet. I can't wait for this Ultimate Alliance game on their take of the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity Stone arc for Marvel's Avengers and the Cabal and all that. So I'm pretty stoked for that. Something else that caught my eye would have been Animal Crossing. I've never played an Animal Crossing game, but this one really intrigued me. I know of Animal Crossing's workings and how it plays. Never played one, but I know how it plays. It's almost like a farm simulator, but it's not. This one doesn't really have you just popping into some random town and bunking at some weirdo's place just so that he can make a living and have your own house and all that. No. You're stranded on an island, and you're working from flatline bottom and up. So I think that's interesting. That design philosophy feels very similar to what Breath of the Wild wanted to do. More on that a little later. And it just seems interesting that they would move from a village in a forest or maybe a city type urban place to just some random island. Now moving on to the Zelda reveal, the Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 reveal, or just a sequel to Breath of the Wild. It's really weird that, it's not weird that they're reusing the engine for a new Zelda game. Like, they're reusing an engine from a previous Zelda game for the new Zelda game. That happened with Ocarina of Time, to Majora's Mask, Phantom Hourglass, to Spirit Tracks. This is a direct sequel. This isn't like, this is a quote-unquote sequel to a game that's using the same engine as the last game, but this game has a different story, but it revolves in the same sort of universe as that game. No. This is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild, using that game's engine. And I wouldn't really blame them for using that engine, because I love cel-shaded engines, and Breath of the Wild is one of the most beautiful cel-shaded. It has one of the most beautiful cel-shaded engines I've ever laid my dick on. So that's it for Nintendo shit. Alright, let's move on to Sony. As you can see, this is a blank screen. They have absolutely nothing. Let's see into the future. Eye of Agamotto, open. Yes, alright. I can see into the future. What do they have? Nothing. Fuck-ass Sony has nothing. Nothing. Well, because they're preparing for the unveiling of the PS5. And possibly The Last of Us 2, since I've heard nothing about that yet. Besides a couple, trailers, maybe a gameplay trailer, maybe some footage. That was about it. Naughty Dog, please be working on it. But yeah, Sony had nothing this year, because they opted out of it. But reasonable, since E3 is just a load of hype and dog shit. Well, I ran out of Pepsi. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit that subscribe button, share this video, I don't give a shit, comment if I missed anything important, which I probably didn't because this is my video, so fuck you, and enjoy your day or night. I'll have something cool later this month Maybe this year, because I don't upload that much. So, goodbye. Oh, God. Oh, I drank too much Pepsi.
Wake the up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Bruh.